Hello, brothers and sisters. Thank you for coming back to my channel, which is your channel. And what I want to talk today is about something really important that I have been praying about. Because to be honest, sometimes we don't pay too much attention to it, or we don't think it's very important. But in these times when all the churches are closed and we have no access to the Blessed Sacrament, this is the time when we can actually stop and appreciate this gifts that we have, that the Lord has given to us, and we almost never take advantage of them. And so right now I want to read about the importance of spiritual communion. And let me just read what the prayer says, and then I'll talk a little bit more about spiritual communion. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that I was never very I don't want to say I didn't believe, but I never used it. And when I had to use it, either because I had not gone to confession and I couldn't take communion, I just rather wait to take communion, to go to confession and then take communion. But this gift, I really never, I believed in it, but not that much, or I didn't think it was important until right now, these times. So let me just start reading a little bit. And it starts: an act of spiritual communion. My Jesus, I believe that thou art truly present in the most blessed sacrament. I love thee above all things, and I desire to possess thee within my soul. Since I am unable now to receive thee sacramentally, come at least spiritually into my heart. I embrace thee as being already there, and unite myself wholly to thee. Never, never permit me to be separated from thee. Note well that such an act of spiritual communion should be made at every visit to Jesus in the tabernacle, at Holy Mass, when we do not receive the sacrament, occasionally during the day, or at least at morning and night prayers. The pious adorer should live in constant union with Jesus. Saint Teresa was wont to say to her spiritual daughters, "So often as ye hear Holy Mass, although ye be unable to communicate, you can make a spiritual communion, which is of great value." Now, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, the angelic doctor of the Church, spiritual communion consists in a lively desire to receive the most holy sacrament of the altar. For, saith the saint, he who believes in Jesus Christ and conceives the ardent desire to receive him therein spiritually eateth him, so far as he is veiled under the form of this sacrament. And we can also read a little bit more about what St. Thomas Aquinas on spiritual communion. And before we do so, I think it's gonna probably be in a different video, but right now I wanted to just um just I really have no idea how to say this, because I never thought I should have, not should have, but I never thought that I had to share this. But one of my sisters in Christ encouraged me to pray about it, and I think I will share this with you, because in these times it can very well benefit many people that do not believe in spiritual communion, or that simply didn't make a lot of use of it like I did before. And so what I wanted to share with you guys is that maybe 2 weeks ago or so, it was late at night, and I was led to sit down on the edge of my bed, and I saw my church where I go and the congregation, each person. I saw their faces, even what they were wearing. And when it came the time to go and receive Holy Communion, each and every one would stand up, give reverence, and kneel down in front of the altar to receive the Holy Eucharist. But they did not receive anything, and so they would get up and go back to their seats, very sad and empty. And each and every person from the church, from my congregation, got up and came back empty. And when I saw that, it broke my heart completely. Then all of a sudden I saw how the lights from the church turned off and everything was dark. Then the door from the tabernacle lit up, and the door opened. And when it opened, a little golden plate filled with Eucharist came out, and it was standing there floating in the air. And just several Eucharists came out of the dish and started floating in the air, and they started going towards each person in the congregation in church. But the appearance of the Eucharist at that point had changed. It no longer looked like the white host, but it took it was exactly like a heart, a little tiny beating heart. And not only was it one, but all of the Eucharist started beating, and there were little hearts on fire, little hearts, and they even had blood. And so they would fly towards the congregation, and as soon as they went inside their mouths, I could see how their whole bodies was lit up, and they immediately rejoiced. And at that moment, I felt so happy, and something just opened my mouth. I didn't even think about opening my mouth. My mouth just automatically opened up, and one of those beating hearts came inside of my mouth. And immediately I felt so happy, an immense happiness. And I was just filled with joy. And I couldn't believe what I had just witnessed and what I had seen. And so I was led to believe that this was spiritual communion, and that everyone that does a sincere spiritual communion can expect this to happen. It is real. It is Jesus' heart who you are taking inside of you when you do spiritual communion. So I really wanted to share this with you guys after a lot of prayer, and if this helps anyone who is out there suffering because we have no access to churches and to the Blessed Sacrament, you're not alone, and we are not alone. Jesus is with us. Let's not forget that Jesus will always live in us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.